You're listening to the Running Around Charlotte podcast, presented by the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. 1 day, 5 events, with a race day distance for every goal and pace. Find out more or register at runcharlotte.com. Now, here are your hosts for the Running Around Charlotte podcast, Tim Rhodes and DC Lucchese.
We're back here. We are recording live at the 2024 Novant Health Charlotte Marathon, the Running Around Charlotte podcast. I'm DC Lucchese. Tim Rhodes is off doing important marathon race director type thingies. My good friend Lindsay McGee, Ambassador Lead, is sitting in with us, and we are here with a guy who he may be harder to catch than I don't know what, than the Loch Ness Monster, man. Cornell Jones.
Except on Tuesdays.
Except on Tuesdays.
You
know where to catch him on Tuesdays.
Mad Miles on a Tuesday.
Exactly.
About it.
You know where to catch him on Tuesdays. Exactly. If you don't know from the Mad Miles Run Club, I would have to say welcome to Charlotte, because it's clearly your first day here. I mean, seriously, right? I mean, we were talking earlier with Philip Sanford, the president of the Charlotte Running Club, and he's like, dude, I am so excited to be in Charlotte and know that the fastest growing running club is in Charlotte, North Carolina.
For sure.
And that's your fault.
I take all the blame.
You take all the
me
credit
and
and
my
all the
team.
blame.
Not me, everything, but me and my team. We'll take all the blame.
Well, that's it.
Amazing
But
team.
and I know you, dude. I know you've told this story, and I am going to make you tell it again. But
100% fine.
But you are a multidimensional dude, man. You are not just a running influencer. You are an inspiration to so many people, and you're clearly an aggravation to your wife. But we'll get more back into that in a minute. But you're also a producer at ESPN. You're doing that. You're a former D1 college athlete, running at Winston-Salem State, doing all that, and somehow you're managing to keep all this together and get back and forth to Charlotte to still make this happen. This. I'm gonna call it what it is. It's a freaking movement, dude.
I appreciate it.
I mean,
that.
it really is.
Yes.
It really is. I freaking love. Everybody loves it. What am I talking about? So, walk us back for the two people who've never heard of it, who just moved to Charlotte today and are listening or watching this show, going like, Mad Miles Run Club. What's that all about?
Yeah.
Lay it on them.
Oh, man. If I had to say Mad Miles Run Club, what is it? It's a vibe. It's a good
Totally.
energy.
Yes.
As you mentioned, Winston-Salem State University. I like to say we just finished our homecoming last week where we ran. Mad Miles had a run on campus on Thursday, which was
Legit.
amazing. But we get all of our energy and all of our vibes from that HBCU culture that my wife and I, Vanity, we went to Winston-Salem State. And we just bring that to Mad Miles.
Yeah.
When I started a run club, I would go to a few, and I just didn't feel like it was like, I don't know, there was running, which I'm like, all right, cool, like everybody can run. But like my wife specifically, she was like, all right, like nobody was speaking, like there wasn't a lot going on.
Yeah.
If you weren't in the know, you weren't in the know. And so when we created our run club, we wanted to make sure that anybody, everybody, somebody can come up to the table or come up to Mad Miles and they feel welcome and they feel loved and they know what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's why we have a welcome table at every single run, 2 during the summer, and we have people there checking people in, asking questions. Where you from? Is it your first time, second time, third time? We have DJs every single week, like even when it's 20 degrees outside.
The music is amazing.
They'll be outside and active. You'll see me running around talking to different people, making sure it just feels like a community. And I think a lot of people see Mad Miles as what it is today, but we did start off with 5 people in person.
Yeah.
We start off with 5 people. We started originally in the pandemic virtually checking in on Tuesdays just because we couldn't run together. But then when we started in 2021 in Charlotte and bringing people together, it started off as 5. Went to like 15, 20, and it just kept growing exponentially. And it's been amazing to see what it is. But it's really just a community. I say it's more than a run club. Yeah. We do. We have a ball coming up. We like to put on fancy clothes. We have like a black party every year. We also have More Than Miles, our nonprofit, where we donate scholarships to different high school and collegiate athletes. And we did a street cleanup last week. There's so many different things that we're doing every single week. And I can't do it by myself. We have an amazing team. We have 8 committees that we have, and we have committee leads for each of those committees and then committee members. So it's about 40 to 50 people for Mad Miles that makes it like operate day to day. So it's just been an amazing thing. And if you haven't come, we run on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays.
I was
Pull up
going
on
to
us.
say, you hear Mad Miles on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But then I've looked at their calendar, and it is so much more than a Tuesday. And I think we learned a few from Dennis Wilson when we had him on the podcast.
Yeah.
As ambassador.
Yes.
Yeah, you
He's
know
an
Dennis,
amazing
right?
ambassador.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, who doesn't
Dennis
know
is
Dennis?
running all over the United States and New York and
Oh, my
Arizona.
goodness. Yeah.
We love it.
And he's ridiculous, man. It's like, y'all can look him up. His Instagram is the bad guy.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, you are so chill. Get out of here with that
There's
bad
no
guy
bigger-
jive,
his
man.
big heart.
That's his alter ego when
I
he's
know,
running, I think. That's
okay,
his alter
okay,
ego.
It's true.
You're
Yeah.
right. He does
did
have a
Vegas
serious look
2
on his
weeks
face.
ago,
I know.
and he's doing Charlotte now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was his
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
I love that
guy.
man.
I know, ridiculous. Look him up. He's been on the show. We'll put the show in the show notes. Look him up on the Instagram. The bad guy.
Learned
Bad
so
guy.
much from him,
I
and just
know, ridiculous.
Mad Miles is so
He's a beautiful dude.
much more than a run club.
For
That's
sure.
the smallest part of it.
Right.
Yeah, literally.
It's a dance club.
It's everything.
It's a community. It's a clothing style now. You guys had a pop-up shop a few weeks ago.
We did, yep.
You have cowboys on Tuesday nights.
So much. Yeah. They're literal cowboys and horses and stuff
Yes.
coming out. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it's all good. It's all good,
Yes.
right? It's totally all good, man. And and I'm going to walk it back just a little bit because when we had you on the show a couple of years ago, it's like the club was still pretty new, and it was really born out of you starting a running streak,
Yes.
and it kind of took off from there. Tell people that story real quick.
Yeah, so
Or long, whatever. We got time. It's not
No,
like
it's
we're,
perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
we're not
So-
getting paid by the minute here, so you do all you want to do, man.
Yeah, no. Mad Mile started off with Mile a Day. That's what the Mad in Mad Mile stands for. A lot of people don't know that, but it is Mile a Day.
Yeah.
So I started a Mile a Day journey back when I was like 29, I think, and I was living in Bristol, Connecticut. And at the time, I just wanted to get back active. I was doing some basketball leagues and football leagues, but running is what I'm built on. It's what my dad taught me how to do first. I was at the track since I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
And so after 5 years off in my 20s, I got back to it. I decided I need something. I needed some competition. So I was like, well, there's no leagues or anything I can join. So I was like, I'm just going to do a mile a day. And I'm a 400 runner. I tell people all the time. I run the 400, the 800, and the 400 hurdles in college and high school. So a mile to me is long. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a sprinter. I'm a sprinter at heart, and I will always forever be. So starting that mile a day journey was a difficult task for me. And again, working at ESPN, sometimes I'm working 5 p.m. to 3 in the morning, and I would get off, and I'm like, all right, I want to go to sleep. But I'm like, no, I got to get my mile in. That started, and I think I posted maybe 5 or 6 times on my story. A couple of my line brothers and my friends from college were like, hey, I'll join you for this week, just help you out. And I'm like, appreciate that. I need that. Yeah. And it just started to become a community that way, just super natural. And my parents started to join me. They've been doing a mile a day walking for over 5 years now.
Shut up.
Yeah, and my brother joined me. My brother's not a runner at all.
A mile a day.
When I say
distance.
he's a runner.
Yeah.
He's a sprinter. He was doing a 60 and 100. So he was
okay.
one lap for them is he's like, that's all I'm doing
Dunzo.
ever. Yeah. But he did a mile a day, and I was like, it shocked me. And I dropped my jaw that so many people could find just commonality and just getting up and running. Just hey, let's get up, let's get active. Sometimes it's together, sometimes it's not together. So yeah, the journey just started there. And now I think we're coming up on 6 years or 7 years of mile a day, whatever, since 2019. So yeah.
Do that math.
Yeah.
Somebody else can do that math.
It's been so many days. I passed 1,000 days, 1,500. It's been an amazing journey. And just I think that no matter what, I think that's what makes Mad Miles successful in a sense, the consistency. I tell people all the time, we don't cancel runs.
Yeah.
That's my pet peeve is when I see, again, other run club leaders. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. We all have lives. If I see a canceled run, I'm like, oh, why? Why are we canceling it? Yeah. I'm like, somebody can do something. Yeah. So we can't get 2 people there. Yeah. So for us, it doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, anything. We're outside and active. It can be. I think our coldest run was 12 degrees, and people were. I think it was 12 degrees on Christmas Eve.
That
and they
was
were
last year.
Yeah, okay.
I recall.
And they were like, no, we're not running today, right? I was like, I will see you guys at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Come on, we outside and active, yeah. And I think we have. I think we had 18 people there, which again is still we're going to be outside no matter what. You don't have to worry about it.
That's the family they had that day. But
for sure.
If people come from other places, which we know 117 people move here a day,
Everything
that's the family they have here.
Yeah.
And that meant the whole world to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then those people bond. And then just keep growing.
Exactly,
and
you have that story, and you have that story for forever.
Yep.
You remember we ran when it was 12 degrees.
You're like, it ain't that cold today because I was there when it was 12. It's like, forget you.
Didn't have power that day.
Yes.
I do that all the time. But that's something to draw on. I do that all the time. I have some races that I look back on that I have in my pocket from years ago, and I'm like, it's not going to be as bad as that.
Exactly.
Or it's not going to be as bad as that. Or it's not going to be like I think. I can do anything for 8 minutes. Hold my beer, right? It's not going to be as bad as that. And those are confidence builders. At least, for me anyway, because I'll look back on that. And it's a great story,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, remember that time we were post-hole in? It was 12 degrees. Like, yep, I got you, Gramps. Thanks for nothing, right? All right, when you did that, though, and you said, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a real-life thing, did you ever think, or were you like, this is going to be the goal, it's going to be a total movement, or are you just thinking, let's screw around and find out?
Yeah, no, I tell people all the time, even to this day, like, we literally haven't done anything yet. We're scratching the surface of what my mind is seeing Mad Miles to be down the road. I announced like last year, I think I was like, hey, I want an indoor track in 5 to 7 years.
Well, I was going to ask you
and
about
people
that.
people were like, oh no. I was like, no, I promise you, like, it's okay if you don't believe it, if you don't see it, 100% fine. It's going to happen. It's what we're going to do, and that's once again just the start of what we're going to do.
And it's coming because I've seen the articles.
We're working on it. We're talking to different people in the city, trying to figure out like what's the best process, and that's why I put that 5 to 7 year plan on it. Just because again, we have to learn things, we have to understand what's going on, but I guarantee it's going to happen. And from there, again, who knows what's going to happen? But it's going to be such an amazing thing. When people are like, you didn't think 1,000 people were there? I was like, I want to do like 10,000 at a weekly run. Why not? Like, let's take over some crazy places and do runs. And it's just let's do a run in the convention center. Why not? Let's go crazy and like bring thousands of people in here. Open these things up. We could do different things, Your
anniversary party was huge. I know we had a little booth there, a tiny little booth there, along with 100 other vendors because everyone wanted to be a part of your anniversary party. And there was 1,500, probably not even, way more than 1,500.
Yeah.
So Mad Miles going to other cities? Or are you keeping it local?
Yeah, so we're going to keep it local. The plan is to keep it local for now and to execute exactly what we want to do and try to get to a space of completion, I guess you would say here. But we've been doing pop-ups in different places, and it's been an amazing experience. We've been to Raleigh. Like I said, we just had a pop-up at Winston-Salem State University. And we're trying to kind of just put the brand out there, see what it takes to lift up Mad Miles and operate it in somewhere different. And I think there's still so many steps within, the world, marathon major type of arena. But even in Charlotte, like with the Charlotte Marathon, like we have a lot of first-time marathoners, a lot of first-time half marathoners.
I know.
And we want to expose, I think our community, a lot of them are like me, and they're like, hey, like I'm a miler or I'm a 400 runner. And they see that 5K, they see that 10K, they see whatever, and they're just, it's just a lot. It's a lot to bite off. And even for myself, again, like it's just something for me. I'm like, I'm gonna get there. Like I got this, or I got this next thing. But to see people like Dennis, who just wasn't running heavy, to see Rebecca, who wasn't running heavy as an ambassador. I remember her journey, like her coming out and not really running a mile and being like, whoa, I'm tired. And now she's talking about running 30, 40 miles. And there's just so many different stories like that we hear that are inspiring so much. And so there's a lot to do in Charlotte. I know those stories are everywhere, but there's a lot to do here first, and then we can take that next step after that to answer your question.
Well, and they're both Charlotte Marathon ambassadors.
Yes, for sure.
And they're out there. They're, for lack of, I've been running for longer than reasonable necessary, but they're new to the game, right? But they're already in a space to where they're comfortable encouraging other people and go like, y'all got to come on.
Yep.
And that's what's so cool about it, right? Is people are going, I don't have to feel like I've been doing this for 20 years. Now I'm qualified to encourage somebody else. It's like coming right out of the gate going like, go.
They help it feel attainable.
Yeah, for sure.
That it doesn't have to be, their journeys are quicker than many. I've been running since 2011, and this is my first marathon. So, and Rebecca has done amazing things in the past year. She's both of them have grown as exponential humans. And they've been good for every part of Charlotte, every part of running. Their growth has been amazing. They've gone to probably every run club in this town.
For sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
No, and no question about it. Yeah.
My wife just popped up. I just saw my wife out of the corner of my eye. I know.
She's over here doing your social media.
Hanelle Davis in the building
doing
as well.
That 5K.
Just finished that Chicago Marathon as well over there, too.
Love that.
Right?
Rock stars.
And all of that, and it's all happening in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Right? And which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Right, which is totally awesome. And as I keep harping on, 117 people moving here every day, and they got to find some place to find their tribe, find their people, find their community, and all this stuff. And we've talked about this so many times. Love it that they're finding in running.
For sure.
Right? And loving it that you guys are helping facilitate that through Mad Miles. in Charlotte. It's like, man, it's like, dude, that's happening here.
Yeah.
That is so freaking cool. I love it. I love it. And from an insider, you're like, that's amazing. And then you look at it try to look at it from somebody from the outside looking in. You're like, damn, that's dope as hell, man.
No.
It's something like that's happening here.
The goal again,
right?
I've traveled a lot, you know what I'm saying, from high school, college, running all over the place. And even, recently going to LA, everywhere I go, every city I go to now, I travel a lot for work. Yeah. I go to a run club. I make sure I go to a run club.
Absolutely.
And just to
So
meet the community.
Get
Just gotta get the mile in
Gotta
first.
get that mile.
But then to meet the community and see what how people are operating and not compare it to Charlotte, but take something back if I can and like leave something that what I'm saying is amazing from Charlotte. And I think in Charlotte we have a lot of just ambassadors of running. Yeah. As we mentioned, like we have Charlotte Marathon ambassadors, we have Mad Miles ambassadors, but there are ambassadors of running from Charlotte that is just like, hey, we want for the betterment of people. Like that's what we want. We want people to get outside and active. And I think that Charlotte is a unique space in that area. I'm from Northern Virginia, and I came to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I fell in love with North Carolina as a whole. Just about
like awesome.
It's so much like city, but also just like warm, welcome home feeling at the same exact time. And you can drive 15 to 20 minutes in either way and like get a whole new feel. And I love that about just even in the running space too. Like if you want some trails, you can go find some trails at the Whitewater Center. Or if you want to, run on a actual, cement, you can do that. The tracks outside, like there's just so many places to run. And I just want people to understand that Charlotte is a running city, as we all know. And I think that, again, the marathon selling out is like one of the big things too. That was like, all right, the marathon selling, like, dang, I can't even sign up for this. I can't sign up for that. Like we're a running city.
I'll do what I can.
I'm good. I'm big cheer squad.
Yeah, I'm also going to just give a shout out to the walkers too, because they're out there walking at Mad Miles. I know they're walking, whether it's a mile or 2 miles or they want to do 2 loops. Like, I feel like you all make it super comfortable, and I know that our run clubs in Charlotte can work on that. And I say that as a run club leader when someone comes to mind, like I will walk with them if they want to. They need a friendly face in order to keep coming back. But I will say that is so big of what you all do, and yeah, we've got some room for. Yeah, no,
I love it. I think for us, we were blessed with a situation. We've ran at a few different places, but especially now at Camp North End, to have a loop is amazing because people, some of our quicker runners who are done quicker, and myself, like I'll do 4 or 5 loops. I know Jaquan Dupree probably does like 8 loops on Tuesdays, and he's just checking. I'm like, do we need a bike? And he's like, nah, I got it. I'm like, all right, like, okay. Yeah. But yeah, we want to make sure that, again, because like I said earlier, my parents are walkers. Yeah. And I'm like, when we go home and I go run with them, I run out, I run back, I check on them, y'all good? Yeah. And then I go do another mile, and I come back, and they're like, cool, we just did 4 miles. I'm like, all right, I did 7. But it's just like, it's still all up. We're still together.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Exactly.
You put a few little kicks in, get a little run. Listen, and I don't care if it's from one light pole to the next or it's one driveway to the next. Yep. Everyone starts somewhere. We all started walking.
Yeah, and my favorite story that I've had recently, Mariah Buckner, she runs with us, and she was running. She was doing good, doing races and stuff, and she was pregnant, and she continued to run as she was pregnant. Got to like 8-9 months, was like, I need to slow down. I'm gonna start walking. Started walking postpartum, walking, and now she's running back to what she was and even faster. And I'm like, just the evolution of that is just like it speaks to like how amazing. She didn't feel like she needed to step away at all. Yeah. She felt comfortable at Mad Miles through all steps of, motherhood. And I'm like, like to me, now she's out there with a stroller. And I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, and I'm, we're stroller division for some races coming up. Yes. So hearing stories like that and seeing stories like that is just like, it's just, like you said, it's filling just to see anybody can come out there. A little kid, seeing young kids learn how to walk at Mad Miles, and now they're running.
Oh,
it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, gosh. And so to me, I don't think you get that everywhere, as you mentioned. The comfortability to do that. Yeah. And even there's a young child, too, that comes out now, and I started this thing with kids. If they're like, if I can pick them up, I have a turbo button. If you tap my shoulder right here, that's a turbo button. I'm lifting you up, and I'm taking you at least 50 meters. And so now they all run up to me, and they're like, and I'm like, all right, cool. That's a turbo button. Let's go.
Uncle status.
What's the weight limit on it? I'm only $138. You can probably beat me, man.
I think I got turbo you for maybe 10 meters. All
right, we're good. We're good. Okay, cool. I'm going to tap you on the shoulder next time.
You're too tall, but.
He said weight. If I can pick him up. He didn't say heavy height.
He's strong, too, so.
We're good. All right, well, all right. On a serious side, though. Yeah. Was it a perfect storm, or what was it that helped open the door for people of color in this community to say, I want to start running? Were you there at the right time, or were they at the right time? It's like, running has said for the longest time, oh, it's for anybody, it's for everybody, whatever. But all you ever saw on the cover of the magazines or on the marketing was some skinny white dude or gal in their 20s, and you're like, damn, dude, I can't be making that work.
Yeah.
And what was it?
I think it's genuinely just exposure. I tell people that all the time. Again, like running cross country in college at Winston-Salem State, I've been used to it. Like it's 2 or 3 HBCUs, and then there's 60 to 70, predominantly white institutions, and it's just like, we're dropping the bucket out there. Like you look, especially on the trail, you're just like, all right, there's nobody here like outside of my teammates. And I felt that way when I came and started running, 5Ks and 10Ks, and I don't think a lot of people even know like that they're going on, especially in our community. They're like, it's early in the morning, number one. It's on a Saturday at 7, in the morning, and it's done by the time you're waking up for most people. So it's just like one of those things that's just like, all right, cool, like that is what it is. But I think once you expose people to different things and different styles of races, I was super proud of my wife and their team. They did Selma to Montgomery relay.
Nice.
Along with Black Men Run.
So
Black Men Run was out there, and it's just like, we went there the first time, and it's like it's a 51-mile relay from Selma to Montgomery, and you're in a van driving, and we did content and everything. And that's something that a lot of people had no idea was a thing. And now that they're with social media, with all these different things, they're like, oh, like I can run with 7 of my friends relay style. I'm going to do that. And now they're looking at like, all right, what's Hood to Coast? What's this, that, and the third? What's the Speed Project? And now everybody's like opening their eyes to things. So it's really about exposure and just showing the community, our community specifically, the Black community, like, hey, you can do this, and it can also be very fun at the same time. And you can, like, I tell people all the time, like, I'm 2 sides of a coin. So, like, when people see me on race day, they're, like, confused because I get into a zone that I'm not in on Tuesdays or Mondays or Saturdays. And they're like, wait, what's going on? Like, why are you serious? And I'm like, this is just me on race day. That's what it is. Like, that's what it is. And I think that's in part why I'm not running tomorrow, too, so that I can let people know, like, cheer you on to be happy and not have to worry about my own race.
I got you.
But, exposure to answer your question, though, is like, that's the key. It's just showing people exactly what it is.
Yeah, and that we discussed this the last several years at Running USA. And, bringing people into the running tent, if they don't see themselves in the marketing, if they don't see themselves in the social media, if they don't see themselves in the posters and whatever and stuff like that, how in the world are they going to see themselves in real life at the event or at the run club or at the whatever it is? And going back to the very beginning of this, if you are unfamiliar with Mad Miles, it is open to everybody. I want to be perfectly clear about that. Just like Black Men Run is, just like Latinos Run, just like Black Girls Run, they are open to everybody. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear on that.
And we were intentional. I think, not to cut you off, but I think we were intentional with Mad Miles, like with the naming of it. As I mentioned, it's Mile a Day, but I didn't want to put Mad Miles Charlotte on it. I didn't want to put, Black Run. I love all of these organizations, but for us, I wanted to make sure, hey, like, we're a little crazy here. Like Mad Miles, it's a little double entendre because it's like you got to be crazy to run all this time. So it's like mad, a little crazy. When we go to London, we're going to do like crazy kilometers, I think. We're going to do like a cool crazy kilometer shirt. Why not, right? But yeah, we wanted to make sure that we were intentional in saying like, hey, this is open for any and everybody, different levels, like ages, every single thing. Like you guys have been out to Mad Miles and you see.
Oh, yeah.
You can literally like get a bingo card of like every single like grade level. Age, say nationality, and I promise you your bingo card will be full by the time you leave if you wanted to go talk to everybody. And I don't think that that's not a thing that we see often, and I want to make sure that we can try to see that a little bit more and try to make run clubs more accessible to everybody across the board, not even just Charlotte, but like across the world.
Well,
I just want to learn the dances.
And we have line dance class.
Yes,
I tell people all the
know.
time.
Can you post those more often?
Because
I will come and I see it after the fact on socials, and I'm like, dang it, I would have gone because I've gone a few times for, some Charlotte Marathon spotlights, I'll tell you. But I'm like, I want to know because I love to dance and I love to groove, and I'm over there just.
And you got to bring in people. We have so many people that have come just for the line dancing.
Oh yeah,
and I love it. And I tell them they'll come early and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm here for the line dance." I'll be like, "I hope you enjoy yourself. We're running first, though."
Yeah,
and I think we all forget, like as kids, like our parents used to do that, to get us to do something. They'd be like, I want to do this. Well, if you can have the soda if you do this first.
Right.
Like,
I love cake. Great. We got pork chops first.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You got to eat your beans first or something like that. And I think we forget that. But however you got to hook people to get them in, like I'm all about it. And I think. Like we do it to ourselves even too. Like if I run this 10 miles, I can eat this smoothie or something
every
today.
Day,
it's something that we need to do all the time, and I love bringing people in from different reasons. And like people see the dancing and stuff online, and I love that when they come, they realize that we can do it all. And it's just like we have those different like endurance runners. We have people that are first timers. We have everything from every level, and it's just amazing to see.
Yeah, and I think you hit it right. It is a vibe. It is a groove.
Yeah.
It is a thing. It's like it is having fun, and I think people have turned the corner on, man, running sucks. As evidenced by this crowd behind us here today, and 9,600 people, be at the dang marathon tomorrow. And I think it's fantastic. When we first moved here 26 years ago, for crying out loud, we would have people come visit us from town, and they'd get up and they're like, damn, all these fools run here. I'm like, yeah, you're right. There are a lot of people running here. And the way that's changed, I mean, heck, even in the time that you've moved here, and you guys are fresh compared to my 26 years of being here.
3 years.
3 years. Okay, so super fresh.
Yeah.
Right, so
where from?
Colorado for 20 years.
Shout out to Colorado.
There you go.
Breckenridge skiing place. I went up there.
Oh, yeah. I don't do cold anymore. That's why I moved here. I did not run on that 12-degree day. No, thank you.
No. I've been out there plenty of times. People are like, oh, you'd love it until mud season. I'm like, what's that? You're like, when, your dog and your kids and everything is muddy and it comes in the house. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. But forget about all that. It's like running can be fun.
For sure.
And what you're doing at Mad Miles and what the team is doing over there is doing more than making running fun. They're building community like freaking crazy. I'll say it like mad. Really, through all the other things. I mean, we're seeing that in even the OG run clubs are like doing things outside of just meeting on whatever regular day or night. They're going like, let's go to games. Let's have things together. Let's go out and do volunteer work. Let's do that and do more of that community.
Yeah.
And everybody wins. Nobody loses on that.
At all.
Nobody loses on that. And that's super cool. And you may not know this number off rip, but how many people, and I know there are going to be people sporting Mad Miles out here tomorrow. You know how many people from the club are going to be
that we're running tomorrow? Yeah. Oh, I do not know the number off the top of my head. I know last year we had 84. So my hope and my dream is that we have more than that and have people at the cheer section as well. Yeah.
84 last year, I guarantee it.
At least 100.
More did it. Doing it this year.
The goal is 100, hopefully. Our race director would have that answer for you, but I don't have that off the top of my head. But, it's going to be amazing tomorrow. I can't wait. And one thing, too, that just pops in my head is, like I mentioned earlier, too, like you can have a good time, but you got to capture it, right? And you got to show people. And as I mentioned earlier, like people like Kyle Gribble recording back here is really good at capturing content for us. And Kiera Harris, like we have so many different people that capture things. Yeah. And, like, we all do it for, like, race day photo. You got to have a good race day photo. What's your best race day photo? Do you have one off the top of your head?
Yes, actually, off rip.
What's your race day photo? What race was it?
It was the Umstead 100.
Okay.
And the quick backstory on it is a couple of weeks before, like 3 weeks before the race, I fell out at Crowder's Mountain, and I cracked 3 ribs and broke my hand. So there's this picture of my running 100 miles with a freaking cast
Come on.
No,
you don't want to get those sweaty. I have found out the hard way.
I'm like, right, because I'm like, I got to do this. It's like I'm ready to rip.
I love it. I need to see the picture. Once we're done, we'll see the picture.
It's goofy.
You got a favorite race day photo?
It's ridiculous.
Probably not.
No favorite race day photo?
Tomorrow, my first marathon finish line.
Come on. We're going to make sure it's good.
I better look good.
Well,
I had some really bad ones recently, though.
Okay.
Awful recently, and that's okay.
But she's got the best race number. Her race number is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
That's got to be
that's the perk of being a staff member. If I could choose mine.
Come on.
I've been out here.
That's a money race
I have been out here for 2 days straight, plus running my first marathon. I get to pick my number.
That's fair. But yeah, it's all about showing the people what kind of vibe it is.
What's your favorite race photo?
My favorite race photo from Mad Miles era?
I don't care. You name it.
I can go from like college era.
That's cool too, man.
I'm gonna do 2 different ones.
Okay, let's
high
go.
school. I have a high school one.
Oh, right on.
I was running a 400, and the pain on my face is so like drastic, and it was just like this. And I had a speed suit on, and it was crazy, but it was one of my favorite memories.
You were 400 at that.
I was 400, right? Yeah. But it always hurt. And I like to tell people, I always like to post it because I'm like, listen, the 400 is a sprint. It's an all-out sprint, and it hurts so bad. Man. I think I hurt probably more on a 400 than I do like on a 10K.
Oh, yeah.
There's differences, yeah. So that was one of my favorite ones. And then from Mad Miles, I would say recently I ran the Peachtree Road Race, and it was very, very difficult. And there were so many people, 60,000, 70,000 people in that. Yeah. And I think I ran my first 2 miles, like ducking and dodging people. And I was just like, I'm just going to be out here for fun today. And so I knew mile 5. I knew where our cheer section was going to be. And I think I was walking for a little bit. I was like, hey, there's no shame in walking.
Dude,
I'm walking.
Forward is a speed.
I know. Forward is a pace.
Come on. And I was walking, and I said, oh, I know the cheer section's right here. Let me tighten up. And so I started running.
Yeah.
Camera was right there. Oh, I gave him everything I had.
Yeah.
And then I was not tired anymore. And I was just like, oh, I just finished.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand how mentally, like, I was good after that. But right before then, I was done. So the camera gives you a little bit extra speed.
Yeah,
so if you see anybody out there tomorrow, Kyle Gribble, you shooting tomorrow? You going to be out there with the camera? If you see Kyle Gribble or anybody or G, speed up.
I was going to say Joe Smith.
Yep.
Joe Smith has many photos of me that are good.
I'm telling every single Tuesday, Joe and Joe Harris. If you see any cameras, tighten up. The race day photos.
Every
I'm going to be looking for yours too.
Yep. 1, 2, 3,
4. I'm typing it in.
Go.
I know the bib number.
I take it back. My best one was around the crown because I beat under an hour for the first time ever.
Come on.
And
was
actually
the photo good though?
The photo was great.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, it's a succession of 3 photos of me just like knowing I nailed it, and then I bloody screamed so loud, and
Perfect.
The camera captured every ounce of it.
You can't beat those feelings. You cannot beat those feelings.
It was the best Medal Monday photo.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Probably by Joe Smith. Let's be real.
And now, since we're recording this, I'm going to have him on record. When are you going to run this marathon?
My marathon. Because I don't have one under my belt yet.
That's
I do have a half.
When are you going to run
What?
this
I have multiple halves,
When are you going to run
I
this
have multiple
marathon?
halves, 10Ks, 5Ks,
Next year.
miles. No, it's going to be next year.
There you go.
I'm just going to figure out what marathon it's going to be.
No,
It's gonna be
this
one.
one.
It's going to be
This one? My first one?
Yeah.
Dude, it's got to be this
What?
one.
You can train on these roads.
Dude.
Why would
are
you not?
The
kidding?
Why are
hills
you
in
questioning?
Charlotte.
Sir,
Where are you going to run 100
Sir,
miles?
you
Where
can
are you
train
going to run
here.
a marathon? You're going to run a marathon in Charlotte, man. You're going to run this one.
We can say Charlotte will be on the list. I got to get one early. My birthday's April 20th.
All right.
So maybe a Boston or London may warm me up for Charlotte Marathon. I think it's coming.
you might need to be.
I've been on
you
the
might need a
marathon
BQ
relay
to
the
get
past
there.
few years.
You might need a BQ to get there.
Yeah. Listen,
Charlotte's a BQ course.
Yeah, we can see if these legs can get it done.
I know they can get it done.
I can't believe I'm doing one
Come on.
before him.
You got to get that home cooking and have this home crowd shut up.
Let's get it.
That would be
Let's
so
get it.
fire,
Charlotte
man. Come
Marathon.
on,
Let's
dude.
do it.
Charlotte
Let's do it.
Marathon. I'm locking you in.
Correct.
We'll shake on it. We'll shake on it.
Dunzo. There you go.
I want
right
this.
there.
I want in on this.
We got evidence now.
Exactly. We have witnesses and we have handshakes proving this. So we're gonna.
6 months ago, I was on a podcast with DC, and I asked one of our ambassadors, if you do a full, I will do a full.
Yeah.
And lo, here she is.
And here
I
it is,
am.
locked in.
Here I
I
am.
don't know. I take my handshake. I take my handshake seriously, especially with running.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
All right.
We locked in.
There you go.
One a day.
100% locked.
At least one a day.
Boom.
One minimum 1 mile a
At
day.
least. What's
I'm
the
glad
date
I
next
know.
year? We got the date next year already.
Whatever
November.
Whatever that first or second weekend is. It's
Flip flops a little bit.
because
Yeah.
of Veterans Day.
Yeah.
So whenever the Veterans Day.
I remember because it was November 4th last year, I think,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. You got 360 or whatever
Something
days.
days.
And I've said his name twice already. I keep looking at him. Kyle Gribble's running one too next year.
Well, no, because Kyle has to be here to work.
Well, no,
No,
he's
but-
just
but
gonna run
so
one.
am I.
Yeah, he's gonna run one.
But I'm here
Yeah.
working for 2 days.
If you pull up the
and I'm
Strava
here.
right now, you know what I'm saying? There's some impressive numbers on there. I'm just saying.
Alright. Should I get up and shake his hand now or after?
And I think we're gonna run one with a camera too. Like
Exactly.
I think we can do that. A little Osmo
As long
pocket.
Oh,
As
yeah,
long as
there
there are
you
no
go, man.
e-bikes involved.
I've got a GoPro chest strap. You can run with that.
Okay, come on.
We're good.
No unauthorized runners on the
Oh
course.
yeah, we're following all the
or
rules. Following all
cyclists
the
on
rules.
I don't care. We're doing it. You're doing it.
No, you do care.
We're shaking.
You do care if
No.
there are unauthorized runners on the
That's
course.
true. That's true.
Yes.
That's neither here nor there. All right.
have to
That's
say
a
it.
beautiful thing. You're in. You're in. You're in. I can't wait.
Come
Let's
on.
go team.
Cornell, you're a beautiful dude. I love everything
Thank
you're
you. I
doing,
appreciate
man.
it.
I love you, dude. Thank you so much for what you're doing in this running community. And for it, it's fantastic. I mean, perfect storm stuff.
I appreciate you.
Love
Thank
it.
you guys for
Changing
having
lives.
me.
Yeah.
Listen, we just
Changing
trying to
lives.
get outside and active. I tell everybody
I love that.
that's our new. Well, it's not new, but that's
Yeah.
our slogan of like kind
Yeah.
of the end of the year going into next year.
Yep.
Just get outside and active.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's all you got to do.
That's
Just
easy.
just take the step.
Exactly.
Get outside and move. That's it.
Exactly. And the slippery slope to doing that is showing up to Mad Miles.
Come on.
Boom,
Oh,
boom,
you do
boom.
that? Yeah, you'll be locked in.
Perfect.
Locked in. All right, friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Running Around Charlotte podcast is presented by the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. Running Around Charlotte is produced in partnership with Well Run Media and Marketing. New episodes are available every week, anywhere you listen to podcasts.